The Mercedes-Benz A-Class sedan and the GLA are now locally assembled in Malaysia, bringing prices down tantalisingly close to 200,000 ringgit. So between these two cars, prices have come down between 10,000 to 20,000 ringgit compared to the fully imported models from before. But you win some, you lose some. And here there are quite a few changes as well. So let's take a look. Mercedes-Benz compact models have been very popular in Malaysia for a long time, so finally we now have locally assembled versions of them. Mercedes-Benz Malaysia has chosen the A-Class sedan and the GLA this time around, so that means the A-Class hatchback has been put aside at least for a while. You can still order them of course, but that will be on an indent or a custom order basis, so prices will be slightly further up compared to what you are used to. The same goes for the GLB. There's just not enough demand for those cars to be locally assembled here in Malaysia. However, the AMG versions, the A35 and A45 hatchbacks are in very good demand, so those will continue to roll on. But so far in CBU form, CKD perhaps later on. Despite being locally assembled, MBM has insisted that there are zero differences between the CBU and CKD models in terms of quality. The quality controls between the Malaysian plant as well as the mother plants are exactly the same, and here using the exact same materials and the same parts. So no, CKD does not mean lower quality, just in case you're worried. Prices now start from just 211,000 ringgit for the base A200 progressive line, going up to 240,000 ringgit for the A250 AMG line. As for the GLAs, the GLA 200 now starts from 233,000, going up to 266,000 for the GLA 250 AMG line. All these figures are between 10 to 20,000 ringgit cheaper than the respective CBU models. In terms of specs, the CKD cars are largely identical to the CBU versions with certain key differences, which we'll cover later. Both models share the exact same engines. The 200s get a 1.33-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine sourced from Renault with 163 PS and 250 Newton meters of torque, together with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, sending power to the front wheels. Now that makes it a fair bit more powerful than their class rivals, the BMW 218i as well as the BMW X118i. However, it has to be mentioned that the A200 sedan comes with a rather rudimentary rear torsion beam suspension instead of multi-links like on the 250 and the 2 Series Grand Coupe. Moving up to the 250s, you get a proper Mercedes-Benz 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine, here making 224 PS and 350 Newton meters of torque. The A250 gets a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission to the front wheels, while the GLA 250 gets a different, newer 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, sending power also to the front wheels. So yes, the GLAs are all front-wheel drive now. Just like before, both models look very different on the outside. The 200s get the basic progressive line exterior kit, while the 250s get the much sportier looking AMG line package both on the inside and the outside. Specifically on the A-Class sedan, they look pretty much the same on the outside compared to the CBU models, but look closely and there are small differences. Number one are the tyres. Now the entire range now runs the same Continental Eco Contact 6 tyres, which is a bit of a questionable choice, especially when it comes to the more powerful A250 sedans. Another change, they are all standard tyres now instead of run flats, but that's probably a good thing for comfort and replacement costs of course. One more thing, the front brakes on the A250. They have been downgraded somewhat, no more cross-drilled rotors, no more Mercedes-Benz script on the calipers, but we've been told they have the exact same braking performance as before. Also taken out is the adaptive high beam system on the A250. On the flip side, it now gets blind spot monitor, which was largely missed on the previous model. On the inside is the same as before, a very high quality, very modern and fashionable interior, featuring the Mercedes-Benz MBUX interface. It all feels very good, especially in this price range, and I think we've got nothing to complain about on the inside. One major improvement is the inclusion of rear aircon vents. Finally, Mercedes-Benz Malaysia, finally. Moving on to the A200 sedan, it's pretty much the same as before, but there are two very significant downgrades. Number one is the lack of an ambient lighting system. That's not too bad, but number two is a lot more serious. Gone is the electric adjustability of the front passenger seat, so you now have a manual seat on a Mercedes-Benz. Moving on to the GLAs, there's very little to report. The only difference to the CBU are the inclusion of front fog lamps on the GLA 200. Beyond that, they are exactly the same as before. They are still very good looking, very stylish, compact SUVs, exactly as before. As for the GLA interior, there's nothing to report here. Everything is as per before. It's still a very solid, good looking interior, very spacious in the back with a large boot. Unfortunately, there's still no rear aircon vents on this SUV. So that's a quick recap on the Mercedes-Benz A-Class sedan and GLA CKD here in Malaysia. The lower prices across the board is definitely a positive move, but the difference in specs, especially for the A200 sedan, is a bit questionable, I would say. So what do you think of these cars, the prices and the difference in specs? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching and stay safe, everyone.